New class changes for patch 12.05. Hey guys, Petko here, welcome back for another video. Don't panic, the patch 12.05 is likely going to go live on April roughly. So whatever you see and read right now, neither of those changes will be active during Heroic Week, Mythic Week, and they will be active likely after the World First race. So that's gonna be the first thing to let you know, okay? But they will be active at some point, very soon. Alright, so before I continue the class changes, huge announcement, they are adding bonus roles back. For the people that don't know what bonus rolls are, you're gonna have pretty much some extra rolls on specific bosses that you like, and if you have any item that you're hunting for, you will be having a easier time acquiring this item. That's it. Simple as this. It's gonna come back in a couple weeks from now. Let's move to the class changes, which everybody's here for. First of all, Dracthyr, race. You will be able to choose whether you want to be in a Visage form or dragon or human form. We thought that's a bug on beta, but apparently it was a feature that they was testing, and I'm happy to see that they are working on this actively, so you guys can be dragons again. And then, you know, if you don't like your dragon, you can just be a human. That's pretty much it. Okay, so that's gonna be a big W, by the way, if they pull it out. Okay, going to Death Knight. All right, so Frost Decay TLDR. What they're changing here is the Apex talent that you call out your Frost form back. It no longer consumes global cooldown. That's pretty much it. That is the biggest thing that they've done to them. Currently, Frost Decay is quite undertuned on single target and like lower amount of targets, like 2 or 3 targets. During AoE, they're doing fine, but that's about it. Okay, so pretty disappointing changes here for Frost Decay. Unholy Decay TLDR, they are trying to add Death and Decay back to your rotation by introducing new talent called Cycle of Death, which honestly I don't really like. I'm not a big fan, but gives you CDR on Putrefy, and therefore Putrefy does big ST or AoE damage, so that's about it. They're nerfing the pet build of Unholy, especially lesser good damage, nerfed by 17%. Reworking Pestilence, I guess it's now gonna be called Blightfall. And there's a new talent called Putrid Echoes, which will make your Putrefy consume all of the charges instead of just having one charge, which saves you 1 global cooldown, which honestly is quite good for the most part. That's pretty much the biggest change. There has been some adjustments here for Rider of the Apocalypse build, which once again, for the people that do not know, it was the best build that you are currently playing, and might still be the best one. That's the TLDR. There's been some sudden changes. I'm not sure if these are buffed or nerfed. I need to check out later on the PTR, but that's all for now. Going to Evokers. So Augmentation, the biggest thing that they're adding here on Augmentation is just new talent called Mighty Inferno, which makes your Inferno Blessing a lot more lucrative to pick up, because previously, or even right now, you still might play it, but you don't play it because it's good talent, because you gotta access other talents that you just have to pat through that. So now they're gonna be buffing it if you play that talent, which honestly is quite good. Some new icons and molten embers also removed. That's fine. That's all it is so far for Augmentation. They're making Preservation Evoker a lot better healer in Mythic Plus by allowing the Temporal Anomaly to work not as skill shot anymore, but like just as a regular cast. And as you can see here, they're really trying their best to target Press Evoker and M Plus to make it more accessible to mass amount of people or pugging, etc., which honestly is a massive win for Preservation community, which right now is struggling in M Plus, especially when you have like all targets spreading around you. So that's pretty good here. And a few more changes here on Fluttering Seedlings, which will make the healing much more streamlined for you as Press Evoker. That is a TLDR. Survival Hunter has also seen some changes. They're really trying to push the dual wielding Survival Hunters into the meta instead of playing two-hander Survival. I believe currently Sentinel Survival with a two-hander seemed better than one-hander builds, but now they're trying to make it that lunge to give you more agility if you wear dual wielding, which is actually pretty good, to say the least. They're also redesigning pack leader for Survival Hunter, especially the Hawk Strider here, which will make your boomstick a lot more beefier, which once again will give you more damage on demand whenever you want it. And then, unfortunately, Little Barbs now generates only 1 focus instead of 2. That's pretty much it. I believe Sentinel was your best build. I'm not sure that that's gonna change with that, but that's about it. For Mages, Arcane got the biggest change here by making Arcane Pool's baseline cast 2.25 seconds instead of 1.75. I think it was 2.25 first. They changed it to 1.75 and now they made it back 2.25. but they made it that every charge for every arcane charge you have just gives you CDR on arcane pools, which for the most part is still gonna be fine. So I guess it's gonna add a little bit more complexity to the spec itself. That's it. For the Frost Mage here, the biggest change is visual change, as they discussed. Also, Icicles no longer generates rapidly out of combat, and the Ray of Frost now is gonna have only one charge instead of like having two charges, unless I'm reading this wrong. But they're pretty much saying no longer grants additional charge of Ray of Frost. That's your Apex Talents rank 4, which is the final point of Apex Talents. But now it's gonna be beefier, so you're gonna do bigger damage with only one charge, but you're not gonna have this massive longer burst because double Ray of Frost back to back. That's about it. For Windwalker Monk, they're making the 4 seconds unbelievably boring 50-50 talent to just give you flat out 20% more damage, which is fine for the most part. I'll take this one as W. They're also redesigning the Apex talents to be more streamlined / less RNG to play, which I think is an advantageous thing for Windwalker's Monk. But once again, there are no significant buffs to the spec, which I believe they are in need to be better. Therefore, I don't really care about it right now unless they actually get them buffed. Some minor adjustments here for Holy Paladin, mostly quality of life changes, nothing to do with like tuning. Same thing here for Enhanced Shaman for the most part. There's been a new effect on overflowing Maelstrom. Each Maelstrom weapon stack consume grant overflowing Maelstrom, reducing the cast time and increasing the healing of your next healing surge. So pretty much more of healing that you can access. And they were like, oh, you're just pretty squishy, don't worry, I got you with more of healing. That's pretty much it for you for Enhanced Shaman. Also, the talents, the names of those talents got swapped around. So in case you see them, don't mistake them. And last but not least, gonna be Warrior, which is pretty much very concerning change here for Warrior. I've read it before, but Colossus Mode changes here on Arms Warrior. And here's the deal: Slayer Arms Warrior, actually, look at this. I think they are trying to nerf Reap the Storm. Look at this. Chance to trigger going from 15%, no, going from 20% to 15. That is a 25% nerf on a chance to trigger Slayer Arms. Nah. Like, are they actually consciously doing this for the rage bait / memes? Or do they actually believe that Slayer Arms is just like overtuned and they just wanna, make sure to like nerf it to the point where there's like, I'm happy with the tuning? Or maybe they are setting these nerfs for Slayer Arms Warrior on the Reap the Storm to trigger less often because they're planning a major buffs during this patch. I have no idea, but this sounds very concerning. They did the same thing, by the way, for Fury Warrior as Slayer, where unfortunately they reduced the chance to trigger from 30% to 15%. That is like a 50% nerf, which is massive. I mean, you're just gonna get back to pressing your Thunder Blast on Kura, and that's about it, okay? I mean, arguably they did buff here Unrelating Onslaught, okay, so that's fine. And Imminent Demise no longer causes sudden death to trigger Reap the Storm, which is fine as well. But that's about Warrior so far. Pretty concerning. Now, for the people asking when are the class changes coming up to for Hero. So let me explain this. During Heroic Week, they've confirmed there are going to be more class changes. For the people that do not know, 17. So this is the week where Heroic rating comes out, 17th of March. They said that during this week there will be class changes. Okay, so you're gonna see that in the next handful of days, maybe tomorrow night or Monday night or Tuesday night. I'm not sure, but in a handful of days, I'm gonna keep track and let you guys know as soon as I see them. They also said that following the week after, on the 24th, you are going to see more class changes, and then the week after as well, on 31st, there still might be more class changes. Okay, so keep your head around, or at least follow the channel. I'm gonna inform you about every single important decision making that are going to happen in Blizzard. I will comment on it and I'll make a video so you're never gonna miss it. So make sure to follow the channel or subscribe to the channel, and I got you. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in game very soon with more news, hopefully for the game. Bye for now.